Good people, what's up? What's good? You guys are listening to your favorite podcast, Connecting the Dots. It's your boy Caleb Smith.
What's up? It's Kimmy Coco.
And who do we have in the building today, Miss Kim?
Queen Yonasda.
Amazing, amazing. And for everybody who may not know exactly, clap it up for all the work that you do.
Thank you for
having me. You might have
me.
seen her. I'm on the Breakfast Club many a times. Ebro in the morning. I mean, she's so popular. I didn't even know that she was on Ebro too. I was like, dang, I didn't even know about that one. So we just appreciate you coming through today. And
Thank you for having
we have
me.
a lot to talk about. But first off, we can just talk about everything that you've been doing lately so far. What have you been doing concerning activism, Standing Rock, all that stuff? So,
man, what have I not been doing? Thank you so much for having me. It's my first time on Connecting the Dots.
Yes, your first time.
First time.
Not last.
I've really been fighting so many different things right now, especially this summer. My focus has really been police brutality.
Right.
Yeah.
4 of my relatives have been murdered by police in the last 4 years in Pine Ridge, South Dakota. About 4 of my friends have been murdered by police in the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years by police. And it's horrible. And so I'm just trying to figure out ways, a solution here in the city of Atlanta.
Right.
I'm working on trying to have a meeting with the mayor to present to implement the 21st century policing reform that Obama put together. So Mayor Keisha Bottoms, if you accept the invite, would love for that to happen. But I think that we've been just fighting on this on so many different fronts. Ponce Leo was just fired.
Yeah.
In New York City.
Thanks to your work and
so many others.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us that's just even tweeted hashtag March in Solidarity was in New York, wherever. That it took a nation of people, to enforce that, and it was, I knew Erica Gardner. I organized with his daughter, and so I wish that she was able to just see this day, and not only just him, but right now we're working on the 5 other officers. To be fired as well.
It doesn't stop, right?
Work don't stop.
So for those of you who don't know, Native Americans are killed more by police than any other nationality, and so I understand why you are so connected to that cause. I mean, the firing of Daniel Pantaleo, is his name Daniel Pantaleo? It caused a backlash from the other police officers, and so when you see what they feel and how the audacity that they have to actually complain
Arrogance
that
too.
Just to complain that an officer was wrong. I mean, the chokehold that he had on him they already said that it was illegal. So if you break a law, nobody is above that. And I just, again, I'm sure I'm going to say this a million times, thank you for what you guys do to bring attention to it, because the power is always in the people. I mean, the more people that stand up and say no and put your foot down, then the pressure is on them to have to change. And that's what the police are accusing the mayor and the powers that be of doing, is siding with the people, which of course they should, because those are the people that they're supposed to be protecting. But you have to pull their coattails, you have to pull the wool out from over their eyes. And if we don't keep doing that, that's what I press all the time, do not shut up, do not sit down. You have every right to be and do and live freely in this country as everyone else does. So,
and I just came from Pine Ridge, South Dakota, my reservation.
So
I brought Tori Russell from Ferguson, Marcella's from Ferguson, Anaya, Crystal, and Mama Julia. Mama Julia is the mother of the movement in Ferguson. It's a team of older women that was right there for all the activists in Ferguson. And I took them all to Pine Ridge, South Dakota.
I saw the footage, and beautiful. You guys ran a buffalo.
Right when we got onto our reservation, it was a buffalo that was literally where you're at. And our car right here.
That close.
And it just ran, and they were peaceful oh my God.
Very peaceful. And then so that was a symbol of strength, of their walking with us on this journey, because the buffalo are very sacred animals to our people. They help with our survival. So for them to get so close, for him to get so close, it was we're here with you, And
if you see some of the Standing Rock footage,
the buffalo came when we was getting raided. When we got raided, all the buffalo came. So you can't
make that up.
You can't and that's why we have to be so connected with nature, because animals, the insects, they all protect us. You read it in the Bible about all of the insects that came. The locusts. So that's like that today. And so when we got there, you know, I did a healing circle of families that lost loved ones to police brutality within Native communities. And by the third story, one of the activists from Ferguson walked out. By the fourth, fifth story, another one walked out. Tears of emotions. By the seventh story, the last one walked out and just couldn't stop crying. And Mama Julia came back in. She said, I've been around this nation and heard these stories, but nothing as horrific as these. Jesus. What's the, you know, I always say being Native American and Black, I always feel like I'm the oppressed under the oppressed. Yes, the reason for is because we was able to get an officer fired. There's a hashtag within the Black community. But within the Native community, I'm going to share with you all a quick story. His name is Cowboy. He's in the Rosebud Reservation. And he did something. I don't know what it was, but some dogs came to attack him. The dogs, it's like 10 dogs attacking him. The police get him and arrest him. And then when they arrest him, the first shift of officers began beating him and they cracked his skull.
Oh my God.
The second shift of officers began to beat him more and they sprayed mace down his mouth, just pouring it down his mouth. The third shift of police officers came, these are in shifts, came to beat him, and then they ended up like, you know what, we're just gonna shoot him. And they just shoot him and now he's dead. This happened in May 2019. This just happened.
You don't hear anything about it?
My relative, Clarence Leading Fighter, was murdered inside of a church in Rushville, Nebraska. That happened just in April.
Inside of a church?
Inside of a church.
They came in the church, the police.
And shot him.
Yep.
They tased him first, handcuffed him, and then shot him twice in the back. So these are this is just one of thousands, not in a long time ago, but recent times. And guess what? These families were like, an officer didn't even tell me that they murdered my child. We had to find out through a nurse or through a secretary or someone that just witnessed it. A lawyer? There's no lawyer.
Right.
There's no lawyer that wants to help Native people on our reservations.
Yeah.
A chief of police? Those chief of police are so in tune and related to the governor, and there is no justice. Yeah. There is no awareness. Yeah. So the reason, I go hard for being a Black woman, but I go just as hard for being a native woman, because I'm able to have this platform, but who is speaking for over the 20 million Native Americans here in the United States? We're not historic. We're not historical figures. We're not monuments. We're not sport mascots. You know, we're not like something of, we're not street signs. We are still here.
Yeah, I didn't even think about mascots like the Redskins. Indians,
we're here.
Wow.
My niece, you all gonna meet her. She's full-blood Native American. She came here from Pine Ridge, South Dakota. She's gonna be coming up here soon.
Good, okay.
So you always see a real Native American. Like, you know, I mean, everyone always say but no, we still exist. We still exist.
And if
we're not
go back,
extinct.
and a lot of African Americans, like I was telling you when you first came in, my family in Wilkes County, my grandmother's mom was a full-blood Cherokee Indian. And when I read, I had to go back and read about the county and how, we tried to find more about our family, but you can't, because they didn't have birth certificates. They just had their kids. So when they didn't have police, what they called them was like some kind of patrol.
It was slave patrol.
They had a district patrols to remove the Indians. So my father, all the way down to my father, my grandmother, her mom, all the way down to my dad, they were like born in the woods in their house. Wow. Like, my dad doesn't have a birth certificate, so the only thing he has is his military records. Wow. So if you do your research and you do some background on yourself, you too may have Native American heritage.
Oh yeah,
I always say that there is 89% of African Americans have Native in their lineage.
Right.
So because of the fact that we all was being enslaved.
Yeah. Right.
A lot of people don't want to acknowledge Native American slavery. That was happening before they went over into Africa. Yeah. They were enslaving millions.
The ones that they didn't kill.
Of Native Americans. Yeah. And then those that survived were still here. And then from there, they was like, okay, they're running off. But no, we still went through everything. Yeah. You know, from South America, Latin America, to the Caribbean, to North America. Yeah. We went through enslavement, forced labor. We went through, you know, murders at masses, not just, you know, a disease. I'm talking about just chopping off heads.
Research the Trail of Tears.
Yeah. The Trail of Tears is what happened. Yeah. Exactly. But this is before Columbus. I mean, this was right after Columbus. And then there was a period that was at least about 100 years, and then Africans were stolen and brought here. You know, and then from there, you know, so there was a similarity in Louisiana. I went down to Louisiana because I wanted to learn more about the Black Indians and what they're doing, because I was like, I don't understand what they're doing, you know. So I wanted to go and, you know, learn. But what I learned was like the market. The market right in New Orleans,
by the river.
Yes, and how on every Sunday, the Native Americans from that region, as well as the slaves, they would have a day off, and they would come together and like learn about each other's culture and music and all of that stuff. And so, but even prior to that, you know, there was a certain commonality of I see you, you see me. Now, especially those within the shores, they already knew Black people.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But when you go in the inner parts of the continents, they didn't know. You know, like my tribe didn't know. They never met an African or never, because we didn't, because we're so far in. We're so far in. We're like right there in the Dakotas. So when you look at the coastal. Because of that, our people have always been shipping and trading.
Olmecs, you see that with the Olmec statues with the wide noses.
So you know that's a major misconception. A lot of people say, well, all Native, you know, I mean, of course we all originate from Black, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but we're not going to go. I'm not going to go back thousands of years right now. Like I'm not doing that. I'm going now. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you look at the coastal tribes, you'll see a lot of the similarities. I just gifted Jadena.
I saw that. That was dope.
Yeah, and I wasn't planning on giving it to him, but I gave him a medicine wheel, and a medicine wheel is the 4 directions of our people, and I gifted him this because of the bridging work he's doing with here in America and Africa.
Oh wow!
And then, you know, and it's very similar to the bridging work that I do of Native and Blacks and brown people, and so I gave him this medicine wheel, and when he looked at it, you know, he was just like so amazed, but then he ended up hitting me up and he told me that this looks like Native and Kenyan beadwork.
He's African, right?
He's African, he's Nigerian. So the thing is that he was like, it looks the same, and when you look at you can see how we're connected as a universal family by our rice. You know, our rice for like our foods, our seasoning, the drum. Our beadwork and our regalia, you'll begin to start seeing the similarities of how we was trading years before Columbus. You know,
it's amazing.
There's a piece of work that I think it's the New York Times that has done called 1619, and I know a lot of people haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I think that everybody should read it, because I'm gonna be pulling stuff from that, you know, for a lot of the upcoming shows, because this marks the 400-year anniversary of the Africans being brought to the U.S. shores through chattel slavery. And so for 400 years, the history has been lost. The good part of the history that they want us to have, is like still out here. You go downtown, you see the statues, you see the flags, you see the signs. But I think that when we read more about our history, we will begin to draw more pride out of it and be able to say, look, we belong here. I think the problem that we have and why more people don't speak out is because they feel like, I don't know, they don't deserve to. You know what I mean? Like, I think that Black people sometimes are like, you know, this is their world, or this is their country, and you know, so this is their rules, this is their laws. No, we're not doing that. We're not going to play that game, because I know for a fact that my family busted their ass and built this country for nothing. So when the reparations talks come, when the talks come about protests and all that, I'm all for all that. So I think y'all should read 1619. You could go from there and see what part your family played in all that, and then you'll see like, no, yeah, we're gonna get more active. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to Africa for the first time in December.
That's beautiful.
I can't wait.
Ghana. That's the
for the year of the return.
Go to.
Yeah, for Afrochilla too.
That's amazing.
But I want to be able to, because I'm able to go to my homelands in South Dakota and to the Black Hills. But I gotta go to my homelands of Africa.
So when you went to South Dakota most recently and you brought the Ferguson activists with you, what was their reaction to seeing all that?
They said, man, I feel like I'm at home.
Wow.
Really?
They was like, I feel like I'm at home. The level of 98% of my people are unemployed on my reservation. Yeah. So they was like, this looked like Detroit. This looked like St. Louis.
Wow.
Or this looked like deep in the South of poverty, and like they was like, man, there's people here that look like my kin.
Wow.
Yeah, and speaking on that, on the Breakfast Club, one of the interviews that really stood out to me, it was with I think 5 of your family members or Native Americans who were there as well, and one of the guys said that people have this misconception that just because we're Native that we have reparations, that we have all this money, that we have casino money, and he was just saying like, I'm just like you, like I'm just like another black person, like we still go through poverty, all of that.
Yeah, we don't get reparations.
Right. So can you break down like that whole scene at a reservation? Because I think some people have this like misnomer that, she has Native blood, so she got to pay taxes. She got casino money. So like, exactly. So could you just break down like the real life of what you guys had to go through?
So that was Natani Means, and those are all my friends.
Okay.
Yeah. So Natani Means is the son of Russell Means, the founder of the American Indian movement. That was saying that. Okay. So basically, the biggest misconception is that Native Americans, we receive reparations. Right. No, there's a thing called lawsuits.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened. Yeah. When you look at the Tuskegee Airmen.
Right.
Was it Tuskegee Airmen?
The Tuskegee experiment. I think. Yeah.
That was a lawsuit. That wasn't reparations. That they received. And so some tribes have lawsuits. They sued for them taking land and X, Y, and Z. So that's what happened with certain tribes.
And when I think what people were doing is like, if you could prove you were a part of that tribe or that you had connections to that tribe, it was like a class action.
It's just sad that you even have to prove like connection
to
this person.
The thing is that like you have that's the enrollment process. So I'm enrolled in my tribe. My blood, it goes by blood quantum. But I didn't have to do a blood test in order for me to enroll in my tribe, because my grandmother, my great grandmother, my great grand, all on my maternal side is all enrolled. And then they're all enrolled. They was
you already good to go.
Yeah, I'm good. Like, and then my mother went and married a black man from Brooklyn. I'm black and Native American.
Got a brother for real.
Yeah, she was all like, she was like,
you see what they're talking about.
It, right, exactly. So she married my father, who was black, and my mother's Native. So that makes me half, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. But no, it makes me half. But then my great grandmother was with a Frenchman. So my blood quantum is starting to dwindle down, but I'm enrolled as an Ogallala, right? And then, so my sons, I had children by a black man. So they're enrolled because I'm half and half. So now they're 3/4. Now, if they happen to have children by I'm Oglala Lakota. If they happen to have children by a Navajo woman, that they have to make a choice on, do they want to enroll as a Navajo or as an Oglala Lakota. Oh, wow. It's not like, I'm Native, I'm like
it's this broad spectrum.
Yeah, because Native American. We have various tribes, so you have to enroll in your tribe, and most of the time is where your maternal side is at.
Oh, okay.
So for instance, like let's say that you're Hopi and Navajo, your mother's Hopi, you're gonna enroll as a Hopi. Okay. Or you can make a choice, but it's mostly your maternal side. Okay. So the thing is that we have all of these so reparations, like we federally recognized tribes, there are things that are given to us, which is education, food, not the best, not the best food, but we used to get commodity boxes. Wow. Which is like, you remember back in the day,
like the cheese, the
cheese,
butter.
That's what we would get. You know what I'm saying?
Basics.
So the basics. We don't get money. So, and I was just building with someone about this the other day. When we talk about group economics, the Native American, many tribes are the perfect example of doing for self and group economics.
Okay.
And those that have not been able to do for self in the situation with all of this land. So for instance, so the Seminole Nation, they went ahead and was like, you know what? Let's buy Hard Rock Cafe. So in order for them to get the revenue to buy Hard Rock Cafe, they went ahead and had sugar canes and Florida oranges.
Wow.
All the oranges, and so they got all this land. They said, let's go ahead and cultivate this and make money. So with that money, they went ahead and bought Hard Rock. Now, and not a lot of people in their tribe. I think it's probably like 6,000 people or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Not a lot of people.
Yeah, that's not
but
big.
they sat down and was like, okay, we are going to buy Hard Rock Cafe. We need you all to go to school to learn about hospitality, to learn about business development in order for us to
prepping you for that business.
Yes, as a tribe.
Right.
Everyone is tunnel vision on making sure that what they're about to purchase is going to be a multi-million-dollar franchise all across this world. Every Hard Rock Cafe you go to is owned by the Seminole Nation.
Wow.
I never knew that.
I never knew that.
I got it. So what's the I guess the difference between the tribes? Like, is it what they invest in? Like, do the Seminoles just invest into like the casinos and things like that? Like, what's the difference between the different tribes? Like your tribe and say the Seminole tribe.
Well, we're all different.
Okay.
There's over 500 federally recognized and non-federally recognized tribes in the United States.
Wow.
To make them federally recognized is basically for the government to say, we recognize you all. And we recognize you all, and we're here to kind of like govern you a little bit.
So no
because
different,
you
different
may not
practices at all.
Huh?
No different practices.
I'm
per
sure
se?
they do.
Yeah. So we have over 500 federally recognized and non-federally recognized tribes. Then that means that's over 500 languages.
Wow.
That's over 500 regalia. That's over 500 ceremonies. That's over 500. Let's go to Africa. All of Africans are not the same.
Right.
All indigenous original people of the world is not the same, but our common enemy has continued to group us and generalize us. Exactly.
If you research and if you read about the different tribes and you start to see pictures of them, for example, like after the Trail of Tears, when the U.S. made the different tribes go to different parts of the country, the Seminole Indians were sent to Florida, and then some of them were there already. So they went from Florida. Some of them went from Florida to Louisiana, and I noticed a physical characteristic of the Seminoles. They have like a more like a
slanted eyes.
Yeah, they kind of look Asian, like a little bit, of course, darker skin, but they have different physical characteristics. They have different like practices, like you said, and just like you said, it's like an African nation. Everyone has a different,
and different hues, different backgrounds.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of people generalize Native Americans.
I've seen some dark skin.
Some dark skin, and then you and light skin, like you're very colored. And so some people have generalized, like my tribe, like the Sioux Nation, right? They have generalized all Native Americans to wear all buckskins.
They look one way,
and like that, like how we wear in my tribe. But it's hot in the South.
Right.
What tribes are wearing full-fledged buckskins?
You made a great comparison.
So and then when they made movies, they were like, film them in Arizona with full-fledged buckskin robes and stuff.
I never thought about this.
And it's like y'all are trying to group us together.
I never thought about
craziness.
that.
So all tribes are not the same. And then the Seminoles, their regalia looks, to me, it looks African from the Ivory Coast of Ghana.
Wow.
When you look at their
like they have a lot of ivory.
No, it's like a print. It's like the African print. They have this especially like Florida and that area. They look very African in regards to the print of the way that they make their clothing. And their patchwork. It's the patchwork. Their patchwork looks very, and then they have these necklaces, all of these beads, like a whole bunch of beads around them, and that looks exactly like the beads that they wear in Africa on the Ivory Coast. It's all connected.
And I remember one person put me onto this and blew my mind. If you look up the definition of Indigenous American, for the second definition, it says copper-colored people. It's like you put a penny on your hand. It's just like, wow. And how come like we don't know about our indigenous roots? And then also, I think the guy's name is Dr. Booker T. Coleman from Hidden Colors. But I never knew that that North America had more pyramids than you find in Egypt or all throughout Africa. So how can we start learning more about our history in America as well?
Our history here is it's travel the land. That's what I do. Yeah. I just get in my car. You know, it's so crazy. I went down to to Mobile, Alabama for Shakisha. Yeah, which she was. It was a guilty verdict.
Well,
on
let's tell them
arrest.
who Shakisha is first, because we talked about this before. But Shakisha Clemens is the young woman that was sexually assaulted. Let's just put it out there. What happened to her at the Waffle House in Alabama? She went to go get some plasticware. You know, she had an altercation. They called the cops, and they basically took her clothes off, and they arrested her. So you have been on the front lines. My son has been on the front lines with the protest. A lot of people have actually. This has been going on for a couple of years now, but they actually charged her with resisting arrest. What else? You know, when you're drunk in public, what's the name of that? Disorderly conduct or something like that.
That came out not guilty, and the guilty verdict came out that she was resisting arrest. So
and
they're
going to fight
her.
This week.
Wow. Yeah, they came out yesterday.
And she's I haven't met her, but I follow her on social media, and I try to just send some encouraging words to her. Yeah. But she seems like a really sweet girl. She's
like your homegirl.
Yeah, like she's just like that. She seems mad.
She's amazing. Make sure you all support Shakisha.
Yeah, she has a GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, like donate to her.
Yeah, since we buying stuff from Popeyes.
Yeah, exactly. That is killing me.
That was the whole thing behind the Waffle House boycott. It was because of what?
It was because of the fact that Waffle House could have easily dropped the charges.
Right.
Waffle House should have easily said, you know what, we stand with her. This is not our products. This is not our conduct here. The waitress was in the wrong for calling the cops on this situation. Then from there, we begin to start seeing more situations of discrimination from the Waffle House with Anthony Wall. With a black couple out of Florida that was actually locked. The Waffle House, they locked their doors, and there was nothing but white folks in there. They locked their doors so they won't even come in. This black couple from Florida, and so we just started seeing more of these series of discrimination from Waffle House. So we shut down their corporate office and last summer, and we went to go meet with the corporate people, and they was not trying to come up with no resolution on discrimination or anything. On any of their conduct.
I don't think enough of us boycotted the Waffle House personally.
No. Atlanta has it. Atlanta, you all need to get out the Waffle House.
Yeah,
I got to do better with that too.
I never thought enough.
Nah, for real. Hey, I'm just being real. I'm sorry.
When the last time you been to the Waffle House?
Hey, I'm
on the way here.
Probably like 2 months ago. I know, I'm bad.
We was doing
It's a process, though. You got to be with me. It's a process. We learn.
They still watch football. We learn it. We're not going to go there.
We was watching the CFL. And we watching Big 3 right now.
My thing is this, though.
People like him make my job harder.
Exactly. No, but listen.
People like him is why I sacrifice my mothering for my son and my family. And why I'm still single is because I'm out here fighting for people like y'all.
I'm here.
What's the overall goal of boycotting the NFL? That's my saying. Like, I just feel like I understand the boycotts. I support them.
Attacked right now.
But it's like, man, we're not on the same page.
Every week I go through this.
I don't feel like we're on the same page.
Every week you've been going through this?
Every week.
Okay, so can I shut it down? This be the last thing.
Go ahead, girl.
Hey, Karen, we outnumbered. Me and Karen outnumbered.
I'm sick of it.
Because we ain't going to talk about rich people problems, but we're going to talk about it right now.
Right.
Okay, no, it's not just rich people problems. It's all of our problems.
But I'm saying,
okay,
like,
let's get into it.
What would you say our overall goal is? What does justice look like?
That's a good question.
Can I do the NFL question first?
Go ahead.
Okay, so we can just end that? Okay.
I mean, we looking for justice from the NFL too, so.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I stand with Kaepernick and I stand with Jay-Z. I always say that there's different positions in revolution. Mm-hmm. Not everyone is going to go this route. And not everyone should go one route. There's always different positions in revolution.
Yes.
Kaepernick took we have to be able to be very, very clear that everyone that makes a stand or voice up on something is not our leader. Right. We have to be very, very clear that every celebrity that has a platform that want to talk about something is not our leader.
Yes.
We have to make it very, very clear, but that some athletes for him to make a stand to take a knee and to do something. Anyone that says they want to do something that has a platform is not an activist.
Right.
Very, very clear. So Kaepernick saw something that's happening, which was police brutality, all these mass killings and no justice. He made a decision, I have to do something. He did something. He did a silent protest and took a knee.
Yeah.
By doing something, it was like, oh my God.
Right.
I highly doubt that he thought that he was going to be catapulted into a position of leadership, of doing something and everything like that. This is why it's important to have a team around you. But usually a lot of times the people that say, I want to do something, don't automatically have a team around them yet.
Right.
So he made a stance, he took a knee. From that silent protest, it catapulted to everywhere, all around the world. Everyone is taking a knee. Then from there, a team came around him and was like, all right, what are we going to do? What are we going to organize? Then he gets kicked out the NFL. He starts Your Rights Camp. Your Rights Camp is not directly to help the NFL players that still want to take a knee, that's still being discriminated against. There's a lot of racism stuff that's going on in the NFL for for decades. Since the beginning.
A century now.
Yeah. Exactly. So the thing is that Kaepernick didn't take a stand on trying to fix that problem. What he did was, let me help our people in the community. Your Rights Camp, he teams up with a lot of different organizations, and they basically do like, know your rights, how to deal with police, things like that. There was a lot of us, including myself, and so many people that said we are going to stand in front of these arenas, and boycott the NFL. We stand with Kaepernick.
Right. Yeah.
I still stand with Kaepernick. His route of doing things, of making a change, is amazing. Our young people need to know they need to know your rights.
Right.
They need to be able to know and figure out ways to be able to make a change in their community, right?
Yeah.
Boom. Jay-Z. Jay-Z is looking at the bigger picture. He's looking at it from another point of view of, okay, the game season NFL season is about to come up. If another person take a knee, are they going to kick out another person? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are we at with this?
It's already started, with Kenny Stills.
So when Eric Reed. Where are we going with this? Like, who is at the table to talk to the NFL owners and say, okay, this is wrong, and let me tell you how this is wrong. Or my friend's son, his name is Ezekiel Elliott. He plays for the Cowboys.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all know I don't watch football. I'm like, he's
Kim's face when you said the Cowboys. She had the Cowboys so much.
So Ezekiel Elliott, I was just with his mother last week.
Oh, wow.
Ezekiel Elliott right now is not playing because he deserves
more money.
To get paid more money, because when you're looking at white counterparts on a team, they're making quarterbacks so much more money. Average. But then there's still the black athletes, football players are still being treated like slaves. So the thing is that who's going to speak up for them at the table that has a platform to be in these rooms to fight for what's still happening in the NFL, as well as social justice. So Jay-Z was like, you know what? Let me go ahead. I got word that Jay-Z did reach out to Colin Kaepernick. They had a conversation. Whatever that conversation is, only them two would know. The thing is that a conversation was made. Now, we need to stop with the hip-hop beef between change. Ain't nobody cooning. There's none of sellouts going on. The thing is that we have to respect different positions in revolution, and none of us are going against and saying President Skowskowick and President, another Jewish name, we're not seeing them beefing. Why do we do that when we're seeing our own people coming in public, coming to the table to want to make a change?
Well, I think people got confused because I was confused when I saw him sitting there, and it threw me off completely. And I don't think that is necessarily like cooning or selling out. I think that's just how he does business. He's done his business like that in the past. Like, regardless to who I talk to, who you see me with, this is what I'm doing now, and this is the move I'm making now. And that was what made me look at it kind of side-eye. Like, why do you need the NFL? The whole thing about me with the NFL is that they've proven themselves to be a racist organization. They've proven themselves that they will fire you for standing up for your cause. And it's, even though the majority of the people that play for the NFL are black and they should side with black issues, they said, no, we're not. So I really respect and appreciate everything that Jay-Z has done in the movement, because he's given and he's funded a lot of these movements. A lot of these
he's helped so many
families. Helped so many families, so many people, so many people that,
too.
So many people that are on the front lines. He's secretly, you don't even know that he's the money behind a lot of these people that you see in the front line for the movement. The money came from him.
Somebody has to get
bail
bailed
money,
out.
all that. So that is even more of a reason why I'm like, okay, you already sold us on the Reform Alliance and that whole thing, and you had
shout out to Cup 50. I'm a part of Cup 50.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And
you already had that, and you had an NFL owner on your team.
Yep.
You started that, and you brought one of them on your side. So I was like, still, okay, but it's your shit. That's fine, Jay-Z. Congratulations. So when I saw him on their platform with them, I kind of was like, bruh.
Yeah.
Why?
And I get.
And it was kind of like it wasn't like oh, you cool, you selling out. It was kind of just like, oh, like, you know, when you're with your homegirl and, you know, y'all done talked about how shady she is, but then when y'all get to the club, she's with her, and you're just like, I'm not mad at you, do what you do, but at the same time, you look mad shady right now. You know what I mean?
I get it, but we always talking about, we need to have our own. We need to have our own. When we was boycotting the Waffle House, people like, we need to have our own Waffle House. No, we have so many black businesses, breakfast spots that you all are still not supporting. And y'all still going to the Waffle House.
And it actually tastes better than Waffle House.
Thank you. Shout out to Rosie's and all of them. They're good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so we constantly talk about, we got to have our own, have our own, but when we do have our own, we're not supporting it.
We gotta get
and
better
that's even with the big three. How many of you all are really supporting Ice Cube's big three?
Me, I am.
I am too.
And you know they have the Freedom Football League.
The Freedom. But see, the thing is that, but in the meantime, who's still gonna be in these rooms to make these differences? Someone has to be there, and you have to respect that. Like, I respect that. Do I agree with it 1000%? No. But am I gonna sit back and eat my popcorn and watch Jay-Z do this? Yeah, I'm gonna see it. And then when it's time, when I'm like, okay, Hov, nah, I don't agree with that. All right, back to, you know what I'm saying? Back to you know, I mean, but at the same token, we have to
give them a chance.
Give people,
He's a billionaire for a reason. That's what
I feel like Jay-Z showed us enough for us to give him a chance. Like over the last 5 years, he showed us enough in business and even in social justice for us to give him a chance.
Sure.
You know,
and then we don't know if he's getting the money from the NFL on the side to be able to start his own league after he go ahead and milk that cow.
We don't know the deal. We don't know Kaepernick's deal. None of that. So it's just like, man, we have to wait and see. We know social media empowers us to say what we want.
We want to see what's going to happen. And y'all stop dragging people. Like, you could disagree with somebody. Like, I'm very vocal with how I feel about the whole situation, but I'm not gonna be on there like, yo,
oh, y'all some coons.
Like, nah, it's not that. It's not that. You know,
I just don't like that we are doing that, and then also we have to keep this in mind too. Because I was at the meeting, I helped organize my son, you know, and the Mothers of the Movement with Jermaine Dupri. You know what I'm saying? And we have to keep this in mind.
You were there.
I was there. Yeah. And so we have to keep this in mind. We cannot allow them to start this into a North versus South beef. You know, at the end of the day, everyone are celebrities, they're rappers. Stop putting them in positions of you know, leading us. We have to continue doing the work. We have to continue organizing ourselves, you know, and not spending so much time at Chick-fil-A and Popeyes and beefing with Jay-Z and Kaepernick when our people are still dying.
Because at the end of the day, you know, they can't use us for free labor anymore. They're going to use us for free publicity. Because all week, the three things that we've been fighting against have gotten all free publicity
NFL,
from
Popeyes.
Us. All week.
And what's the third one?
All week, Chick-fil-A.
All
week. All week. That's
why I always say,
give too much energy.
And that's why I wouldn't say I'm against the boycott, but I'm like, man, the NFL has a huge platform. If they're going to use us, let's just use them too. Let's play the game. That's all I'm saying. Let's just play the game.
And best believe Jay-Z, as brilliant as he is, he has a move. And we have to, exactly. This whole, exactly what you said, but the reform, the Cut 50, like, and then even Beyonce too, like, they're doing so much stuff
behind the scenes.
You know, like, I know that Jay-Z makes those calls. I know that Jay-Z makes those calls. When he sees something, he's all like, what can I do to help? It's not a press conference or none of that stuff. He does what he does.
And then on the low, you'll see like one of the mothers or something like that, like at a concert or something, like they take care of people.
They do.
For sure.
They really, really do.
So you've been on the front lines of so many different things. I had an opportunity to protest and just be out there when Sandra Bland was murdered. I was living in Texas back then, so that was like my first experience, and that's how I got into it and became more passionate about it. And this is what kind of helped encourage us to build this platform. But man, it's kind of like you feel like you're with the devil. You know what I'm saying? Like you can feel the force of the opposition, and it's not physical. You know what I mean? Like that there's something bigger behind the mentality of the people that are trying to stop this. So what keeps you going? Because just that one thing, because that was my thing. Like every time they say come to the courthouse, I was there. Every time her family came in town, I wanted to just greet them. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to
keep them encouraged.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Every time there was something going on, I was there. My church had something against the police in Houston, and it just went from one thing to another. You get caught up because you see so much hurt and so much pain, and as a healer, you kind of just you're drawn to stuff like that. So you do it full time. Which one for you? Because that was the one for me that was like, whoa, this is some evil
That's
shit.
A deep question.
Which one for you did you feel the evil, like that was the hardest to fight? Like which one do you felt like the force against you was very strong?
All of them.
Really? Yeah, they're all like that. Yeah.
All of them. It's like I have to prepare myself every time I leave my house. And I don't want to start crying, y'all, but
no, you're good.
But you're good. I have to prepare myself every time I leave my house. I'm like, is this worth for me to die for?
Right. Wow. Right.
Because that's how strong that opposition is. When you get hit by tear gas, by rubber bullets, with a rifle in your face,
it's real.
I'm making a decision on,
is it worth
my life? And that's a hard decision to make. So there's certain things that I may be out there and I'm just like, I may not be as aggressive because I'm like, okay, I feel that this might be a different way of a solution. Yeah. So I'm just, they're protesting, but I think there's another way. So let me just sit back, but I'm still here to support. Yeah. Then there's some that I'm just like, no, this is worth it. When I was about 14 years old, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. In Phoenix, Arizona, we didn't have the Dr. King holiday.
Yeah, because of John McCain, right?
John McCain. Yeah. So we didn't have the Dr. King holiday. In Phoenix, Arizona, I grew up around skinheads and KKK. Skinheads went to my high school. You would never
think that. You would think that skinheads are just solely located like all throughout the South, but they're in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, all throughout the whole the West Coast, Midwest, especially in the 90s, the skinheads was like huge.
Oh yeah, in the 90s.
Yeah, it was huge. I graduated in '96. So I'm old. Oh, yeah,
but you're still young though.
Yeah, thank you. But so the thing is that I started my first like major thing. I started a riot at my high school.
Wow, that's dope.
Because a skinhead wrote nigger on my locker.
That's that Farrakhan.
No. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, we about to turn over here, right? So the thing is that every doctor around Martin Luther King holiday, we used to shut down downtown and do a march.
Oh wow!
And our march, this is in the 90s, mind you. KKK skinheads spitting on us. Wow. Throwing things at us, calling us nigger, go back home, go back to Africa. This is what I dealt with all throughout my childhood, all the way up until 1996, 97. I think when we got the Dr. King holiday, my mother and her team of activists fought so hard. And what they did was this. This is how I know a lot about Super Bowl boycotting. What they did was they talked to all of the players that made the Super Bowl, and then they said, do not, if make this stand. If we do not have a Dr. King holiday, that you all will not play at the Super Bowl that's coming to Phoenix, Arizona.
I think that was the Cowboys and the Steelers, right? You had the two biggest franchises NFL history.
And they made that stand because my mom used to work for Muhammad Ali, so she knew a lot of the athletes.
Right.
They made that stand, and that's how we got our Dr. King holiday.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
So back to the question. I dealt with that early on, and even then I was scared. Because I was like, oh my God. But my mom trained me to be fearless.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But I must say, when I was in Standing Rock, Standing Rock kicked my behind.
It was real.
Standing Rock kicked my behind because
that was I mean,
it was like actual battle. Yeah, it was warfare.
They were
it was every day. Imagine like, okay, you know how you protest at Sandra Bland, right? For Sandra Bland. Imagine you camping out in front of that sheriff's office for a year. You're not going home. Imagine you have no phone reception. Imagine you have no food. Imagine you sitting there with the people that you marched with. You're not going home. And you are so determined to get justice for Sandra Bland. That was us. That was us in Standing Rock. We had no phone reception. We're out there camping out in North Dakota by the water, and we're fighting for water for all of us to drink.
Jesus.
This was the Missouri River.
Yeah.
We're fighting, and so that fight was such a spiritual, a physical, emotional fight. Standing Rock kicked my behind. I still get triggered by Standing Rock because they were especially me, they was attacking me. They actually hired a militia group called Tiger Swan. Tiger Swan was Blackwater. Y'all heard of Blackwater? Tiger Swan was Blackwater. They hired Tiger Swan to infiltrate Standing Rock, and their first thing, and we was talking about the movie The Great Hack earlier, the first thing that they did was social media warfare and terrorism. So what they did was they wagged the dog. You're looking at Native American profiles, and you're thinking they're Native American people that's saying we don't want blacks to come to Standing Rock, and you're like, wait,
trying
what?
To create division.
What it was is that when I went in front of that bulldozer to stop that construction on Labor Day, they're looking at the most dark-skinned, melanated woman out there, and they're like, oh no, we can't have black folks come up here. So they attacked me so hard on social media, made memes about me. If you put in Yonasda Lonewolf, it says Yonasda Lonewolf fake. Like, I can't change it. So if any hackers out there could try to help me change this, but they really tried to diminish me. And then, but I kept going. And then not only that, I had people following me in the airport. When you're fighting against, it's one thing to fight against police brutality, but when you're fighting against big oils and system, and at the time I was fighting against Trump and didn't even know it, right? Because Trump is investing in the Dakota Access Pipeline. Yes, so I'm fighting against Russia. I had my hackers at the time. I was like, yo, find out who these profiles are. They was like, it's in Russia. This is before anyone knew about Russia. I was like, Russia?
They attacked a lot of people that were standing and protesting for police brutality too. And
they did, but I was involved in that. I was involved in the attack on police brutality. But when you're fighting against oil, that was another machine that was attacking all of us. And then there was people that was coming up missing in Standing Rock.
Right.
There was a girl, her arm was gone because of the flashbang that they was throwing. Her whole arm went gone. And I mean, the level of then while we was asleep, they're throwing stuff on there. Imagine you're asleep and there's a fighter jet around
actual warfare going on.
Around, they was messing up our minds like we was at war without no weapons. And the only weapon we had was prayer. Wow. And the only weapon we had was unity. That's the only one you needed. Prayer, unity, and a family and a community. Woo, it was nothing but, so there was people next to me that I was like, and she's white as ever. And we holding on to each other like this, like, we're going to get tear gas today. Dog's going to attack us today, but we got each other. She like, I got you, sis. I'm like, I got you.
Yes, that's what you need.
Wow. That's what it was.
Love is the most powerful force, and I don't think people really give, like, when the same thing, the white people that I saw in Texas, they were probably raised that way. In Waller County, with the police department that killed Sandra Bland, I still stand on that to this day, that they killed her.
Yes, they did.
The police department that killed her, this has been going on there for generations and generations and centuries and centuries. So I felt the same way, but I didn't sleep out there or anything like that. But every time I just was out there, I was just like, I'm not leaving. Like, I will look you dead in your face and just be like, I'm not leaving, because for some reason I related to her. Like, that was, to me, I saw myself in her. I moved to Texas by myself. Yeah. I didn't have anybody there.
Same thing could have happened to you.
If anything, if the cop would have pulled me over on some bullshit, I would have had the same attitude. Like, that was me.
Kim got that fire.
I was like, I'm on my way. Like, I don't know. Like, I think the closest thing before that I got to it was just like back in the days, you know, because I'm from Jersey, so you know, we grew up on Fight the Power and all of that. You know, that we just grew up with that whole spirit. Like, we're not. You know, I'm gonna do Diallo and all that. Like, that was when I was a teenager. So you know, we just know that you gotta stand up for your people. That's just what we do. But sis, oh my God,
everyone is gonna have to make a decision
at one point.
At one point in their life on what they're willing to fight to their death for.
Yeah, wow.
Everyone is gonna have to make a decision. Am I willing to fight to my death for this? No matter who you are, no matter what you do, everyone is going to have to make a choice and make a decision. And the thing is that some people, Sandra Bland, some people it took Mike Brown.
Some people took Trayvon.
I
saw the people.
Some people took old stories like Emmett Till.
Yeah, when you read about that.
It took, you know, it's always something like, wait, hold up. I got to do something. I get so many people that hit me in my DM saying, I want to do something. I got to do something.
I was just about to ask you that.
And I always say, leaders don't have followers.
Right.
Leaders teach other people.
I love that.
And mentor other people to become leaders.
I love that.
And especially I do. I always make sure, because a lot of people always ask me, like, you know, how are you a national community organizer? It's because I go around this nation and I'm having other people be extensions of me. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, like right now, there's a story that just hit me up yesterday. A 17-year-old girl. It's 110 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona. The police put her on the ground. She has third-degree burns on her body. God. They just put her, and the children at the high school was like, get her off the ground, everything. And they sent me the pictures of the degree burns from these officers, you know, and I'm like, I can't be there. You know, I'm talking to the family, but I have someone that's an extension of me that could be able to help you come to your home and do everything that I would do.
You have a network.
I have a network.
Yep.
And I say this all the time. You know, we know who's the best hairdresser. We know who's got the hottest flyest shit.
Mad,
you really need to know who your community organizer is and a good lawyer.
Yep.
That's
in
right.
This day and age,
those are essential.
You really need to know. You need to follow whoever your person is. I relate more to you for some reason. Like, I don't know. Like, you know, everybody has their person.
I love that
but
spirit.
I just follow somebody that you can connect with, that you can get informed with, and there was one, and this was the clip. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear the audio, but when I tell you I almost hopped out of my bed when I watched this video, this was you. Where were you here?
So I spoke at the...
Hold on, let's see if we can... But wait. Wait a minute. So if you can't hear,
you can turn up a little bit.
Okay, so what she said was, you know, and you could hear the passion in her voice, right? I know y'all could hear that. If you couldn't hear exactly what she said, but she was just saying, you know, we're on the front lines, we're fighting. Men, we need you. We need you.
You were saying that 2 weeks ago. Kamani.
I didn't see this then.
Yep.
But when we were at that, what was it? My Vote is Hip Hop.
Yeah, My Vote is Hip Hop. That's what it was.
What's the guy's name?
Kamani, I think.
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
He was speaking and he was just like, "Yo, you know, we need to step up."
Men. Yeah.
I was just like, and you were like, "She's been dying to say something," and you gave me the microphone, and I was like, "Yo, where are the men at?"
Right.
why don't you feel the obligation like back in the day to provide and protect women? These women are on the front line for y'all most of the time.
Alone.
Because they want to go to the Waffle House.
No.
We are doing
that was one
it.
time. That was one
Like,
time.
They want to watch the NFL.
Hey, I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress.
My friends,
I'm still with you though.
My friends give me hell for protesting. My friends give me hell for going to the marches. My friends give me hell for doing what
That's
I do.
what we need.
But one thing happened, and I think it was Stephon Clark. When Stephon Clark was killed by the police officer in his grandmother's backyard, there was something on social media that he had posted, and it was about like dark-skinned women or something like that. And I was like, okay, I still think that what happened to him was wrong. I'm sorry.
It doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change the fact, okay, he was young and, he had his preference. Okay, maybe he didn't like dark-skinned women, but I don't care because he was dark-skinned and he could have been my son.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So my girlfriend was like, see what I'm saying? You go out there and you be doing all this and they don't care about you. Listen, all I'm saying is this.
That was someone's child.
That was somebody's child. When I was a kid, who knows? I'm glad there was no social media back then. Because I was wilding.
Yeah,
I was wilding. I tell people that all the time, like, I was wilding. You know what I mean? So if there's a picture from like 95, you pull up and
we wasn't twerking, we was booty
Right.
We was booty calling Luke.
If there's some questionable
on these same streets.
Right.
On these same streets.
If it's some questionable shit, you know what I'm saying, might come up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm reformed now and I'm all about
we was rapping the Tupac.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Pop was out. Pop was out. You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang.
Right.
Are y'all making excuses?
I'm just saying.
I mean, we're young.
I'm just saying. But we really, really need y'all. And like you said, like, okay, you put your life on the line. You have to decide whether or not it's going to be worth it. You have a son.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you are single.
Yeah.
I want you to
That's
have protection.
Yeah.
And, I want you to have somebody that makes sure that you're good.
Yeah.
Brothers, step up, please. I'm just asking you, please.
When I was in,
most of the time,
thank you so much. We need y'all, like,
we
seriously,
we do.
And
don't let them, the city girls, hot girl summer, and all that.
And
look,
even if it is a hot girl summer,
Get you an activist, bro.
But even if it is a hot girl summer that's getting beat up, I don't care what the situation is.
Yeah, you still.
I was at an event, right, and it was a solemn situation, but this boy was beating, and I knew it was going to escalate to that point, right? I was like, men, y'all go over there and calm him down. Yeah. They're like looking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go over there and go. All the men, go over there and calm him down before it escalates. Yeah. He went over on the other side of the car and just started beating her. I ran over there, then he stopped and I went in between them.
That's sad that you had to do that.
And what hurt me the most, my son was there, Shamar, my 8-year-old.
Oh, Lord.
He's a baby.
He comes over there, he says, Mom, are you all okay? The men was just looking.
And he's a boy. Yeah.
He's a little boy. The men was just like, well, I don't know, that ain't my issue. That ain't.
Yep, and that's exactly how we think.
I don't care what it is.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I know, and I get it. Black men are getting murdered. Yeah. They're black on black crime. You're getting murdered. I get it.
Right.
But we are getting murdered too.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is that I can't call, I need my men.
I need y'all too.
We need y'all. Yeah. And it hurts so much that I get more opposition and lack of support from my men.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm just like, God, so no wonder Malcolm X said that the black woman is the most disrespected.
Neglected. Yeah.
Neglected, underprotected woman in the world.
When we saw Shakisha Clemens,
Lord,
getting stripped down naked by 2 white officers, when we were shutting down when we was doing sit-ins at these Waffle Houses, it was our own people saying, why y'all sitting in there? We occupying seats so your behind don't come in here because we boycotting. This place is shut down. We're doing what we have, the spirit of the Black Panthers. We have the spirit of the Fruit of Islam, of the MGT. We have the spirit of Marcus Garvey. We taking over this place right now in 2019. Y'all here questioning us? Y'all need to be up in here shutting this down. Y'all need to be over here protecting the black woman. There was no reason why Corinne Gaines should have been murdered and slaughtered the way that she was in Baltimore.
No way.
No reason why Shakisha Clemens only had 5 people at the courthouse. Her GoFundMe right now has $1,500. While this officer that murdered Eric Garner has over $180,000. What is wrong, Black America?
When I went to the courthouse, when Sandra Bland, the Brian Encinia, that's the cop that killed her or was instrumental in her being killed. When I went to the courthouse that day, there was 12 people the first time. Before the internet got a hold of the story, before this hashtag came out, when it was really necessary for people to be on the front lines, for them to see that we weren't backing down, there wasn't that many people there. There just wasn't. And then it hurt my feelings so bad. And sometimes I see my Facebook memories and I'm like, yo, this concert just happened downtown and there was like 10,000 people there. Yeah. If y'all would have just showed up like this, and it's like you get tired. Yeah. Right. You get tired. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. And I don't know. Like I stand by you. I stand with you. Because it is exhausting. You are fighting. You know, it says in the Bible, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. And it really is, you're fighting demons. This is like it's like fighting dragons.
So, question for both of you ladies. Like, recently, you know, we've been talking about this.
We Khaleesi.
Khaleesi. Recently, Ken, myself, Jay Black, we've been talking about Popeyes. And I know, I get it. It's balance in life. You can have Popeyes, that's cool. But when I see this effort behind it, of reposting it, promoting it, I think they accumulated $23.5 million in free advertisement in 2 days from us. And the work that you're doing, and people don't even know about it. Of course, people know, but I'm saying I want more people to.
Well, then you got to share it. Like to combat that. To combat that, all you got to do is share it. Like I would never post anything about that. Like you have to be the change. Like it seems minuscule because you're only one person. You might only have like a couple thousand followers or whatever, but you just need to be an example. If they see that there is somebody like that, they'll be like, yo, she never shares like whack shit. Like she always shares
informational.
Right. Yeah. Like you just have to be the person. And then your vibe is your tribe, right? I definitely believe in that. I believe that, when you emit a certain frequency, it's gonna come back. So then you'll start to build with more people like that, and then you come to we just got to make it grow. Like we just have to. That's why we built this platform, right? Like we want to showcase. We want people that
to learn.
And, to know what's out there. That you don't have to be like, okay. First of all, y'all, let's just get one thing understood. Likes on Facebook and social media, bragging rights does not equal any sort of money or monetary value. So sometimes people do stuff just to get likes or get.
You gotta have that substance in it, you know what I mean?
And they know that, you guys watch that movie, but the dopamine that you get from getting a like they're playing with your mind. They're literally playing with your mind.
Social engineering.
So you really need to be strong-willed mentally to even be on social media. I don't think everybody's really strong enough mentally to be on social media, but if you are on there, you have to learn how to navigate. And we always say unfollow all the negative shit, unfollow the whack shit, unfollow people that post stuff that is not about anything, and follow people like
right here. And then for yourself, what would you probably say, as some advice for us as well? Like, what should we probably do? Step one, to not be like how we are in this current state of us talking about fried chicken every day, but instead of promoting what you're doing or everything that's going on, like right now with activism, Waffle House. So people like me, we can be better.
Waffle House.
Right,
no
exactly.
More. I got you. Though,
they
don't want you there.
They don't want me there.
They don't want you there.
You woke me up today, so I got you. So what could we do?
Support, support your black communities, black and brown communities. And I always say this too: not everyone that's black got your back.
Just because you skinning me, you ain't kidding me.
Right, exactly. And then my other thing, I have a shirt that you guys could get on queenyonasda.com. It says
plug.
Free
plug. Oh, we saying that name wrong. I asked
So
when we were at that event, and I was just like, yo, I've been saying her name wrong mad long.
Yeah. Everyone does.
What is she saying?
Just stick to it.
What did she say? And I was like, she didn't say it. She said something different just now. And I was like, what did she say? And you were like, I think we have been saying it. What is it?
So it looks like Yonasda, right?
That's what I say.
Yeah, but my name looks nothing like how it's spelled. I don't know how that happened, but it's Yonasda.
I heard it on the Breakfast Club, and my mom was just blown. I was like, so that's
man.
Yonasda.
What do you prefer? You would prefer everyone said it the right way, but we are like from Jersey, and I'm like Yonasda.
Black people.
I know, I get it. Hey, that's Queen Yonasda.
You like the Nas part.
Yeah, right.
All right, I'm gonna say Yonasda.
Yeah, Yonasda is my name.
But give me a minute though, and then I'll work my way into it because my mind
okay.
It's just a fancy. You gotta
Yonasda.
Yonasda. Yonasda.
Okay.
Yonasda.
We got a whole song going on.
Yeah. So I have a shirt.
Yes.
I ain't going back and forth with anyone. That Harriet Tubman with a shot.
Wow.
So make sure y'all get it at queenyonasda.com, and that's really my motto.
Oh, yeah.
And then my new motto is I'd rather be a nameless revolutionary than a celebrated coon.
I saw you post that. That was beautiful. Fatima wants to laugh. I want to laugh with you.
I'd rather be a nameless revolutionary than a celebrated coon. And so that's and then I have another shirt that says the women are the heart of the movement. The men are the strength of the movement. That's going to be my next one. I'm going to honor men that are doing great things in the movement. But in the women are the heart of the movement is my sisters in the movement. Tamika Mallory, Linda Sarsour, Carmen Perez, Valencia Gunner that's down in Miami. She's like the modern day Fannie Lou, another great person to follow. She's amazing. Florice White Bull, she was in Standing Rock. And then, of course, Rosa Clemente. Like, she's just freaking amazing. Puerto Rican activist.
Put me on game. I'm gonna check all
she
of them
ran
out.
for the president for the Green Party years ago.
Oh, I know that name sounds
Rosa Clemente. So it's basically to honor women that are the heart of the movement. That a lot of people, I was like, you know what, I don't want us to wait till we die in order
to get recognition. Why are we like that?
And I was like, I'm going to honor those that are my heroes.
While they're still here.
While they're still here.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to do one for men as well coming up for 2020.
I definitely want one.
Yeah.
I want a shirt so I can wear it.
Yeah.
Because I like wearing shirts.
Go to the website.
But I think that whatever it is, you're going to make, everyone is going to face, I'm willing to fight for this.
Right.
Just, begin to, it's going to come. So the thing is that remember that there's different positions in revolution.
Absolutely.
Figure out what you want to do.
Right.
To make a change. If you see something that is unjustly, say, I want to do something. Whether it's, if you're good in social media, I'm creating tech revolutionaries.
I remember you saying that at the event.
Yep.
I like
tech
that idea.
revolutionaries. And go to careerkarma.com to begin to learn how to code in tech for free.
That's what we need too.
And then they'll also hook you up with a job. Like someone that's my sister that's been working with me. She's now working for Apple within 2 weeks of her signing up to Career Karma.
Wow.
She's working from home.
I need to look into that.
Yeah, so I'm creating tech revolutionaries.
Mogul status.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like, to work with Career Karma on it. And we have to learn how to, this is a whole nother platform.
Absolutely.
So we have to learn that.
Right.
Yeah. The other thing is whatever it is that you do, you don't have to be on the front line protesting.
Right.
You could, this right here is revolutionary.
Thank you.
Giving people a voice, talking about issues that mainstream media does not,
too afraid to talk about.
Highlighting people that, they banned my grandfather, the Honorable Minister was Farrakhan. They banned him on Instagram and all that.
Yeah, Reza was here one day and he talked about that.
That was the day after it happened too, I think. It was when he came over.
So do you see now, people, I think them banning him just made it more powerful. People were looking him and
he was trending for he's just amazing. The thing is that I love him. I love him.
He has a beautiful spirit.
Everything of the woman that I am is because of the Honorable Minister was Farrakhan. And he is my mentor. He's someone that I look to. What other person was able to get over 1 million people to Washington
before social media? Before social media.
But do it twice. He did it in 1995, and then he did it again in 2015.
Yes, so because he's such a powerful force in the black community, and he has been for decades, I think that he should be more involved in, he is unknowingly because people follow him. Whether y'all want to admit it or come to grips with the fact that people actually sign and, So politically, I think people should respect him and give him a voice, but they don't. So recently it came up, and Cory Booker said that he would not meet with him, and that just completely turned me off.
Because we got to look at who is funding him.
Yeah. They're gonna call it anti-Semitic, but we're gonna say it right here.
It's Zionist. There we go. Zionist. I mean, we went live on my Instagram last night.
Shut down.
They did. They shut her down, and so we went live on my Instagram with my homegirl that lives in Israel.
Beautiful.
And she was showing us. Like just her waking up. I was like, girl, wake up and just show us. She's showing us all of Israel. But what we was talking about was the $7 billion from America, from our dollars that's going into Israel.
Right.
So the thing is that the question is, why are we putting so much money into Israel?
Well, they believe, and by they I mean the people that are allegedly evangelical Christians that subscribe to Trump's bullshit.
Watch the Family, like we were talking about earlier.
They subscribe. They pick pieces of the Bible that they want to believe, right? So there's one that says something about protecting Israel, and if you protect Israel, then God will protect you, right? So there are the Christians that think that that's what they're doing, and that every president that comes and leads this country has some obligation to take care of Israel.
Kim, really, I would say that it's not really Christianity per se. They just use that as a vehicle to implement white supremacy.
Absolutely.
That's just pretty much
in the words of Jesus.
Right.
Okay.
We're gonna go to church. It's Sunday.
Straight to the source.
Come on.
Straight to the source.
In the words of Jesus, Jesus said, "Do not follow those of the synagogue of Satan."
Yep.
He didn't say he don't like Jews. He said those that follow the synagogue of Satan.
But if you
exactly.
Revelations. Yeah,
so that's really what it is and what it boils down to.
Absolutely.
Not everyone, like we said. So you could sit there and use something and say that this is what it is, but it's not what it is, because it's totally opposite of God's way.
And if you really want to break it down, Jesus was Jewish. And he was a refugee. Yeah, he escaped his country.
To Egypt,
Jesus was bomb.
Oh yeah, so he had to look like me and you, right?
Right.
Jesus lit.
I know, it's just simple.
Right. I mean, Jesus was lit, and he definitely was a refugee.
Be a Bible verse. We put that like the very last verse.
Jesus lit, right?
In the story.
Right.
In the story.
That's amazing. This is, Kim, like what you're saying is so true, because even what you told me about your grandfather, right, who practiced Judaism.
Yeah, my grandfather is Ethiopian Jew.
And I love that. And then how you had on your live last night with her being in Jerusalem. So I just
my grandparents used to go to Israel every year. I never went because I was, like I said, in the hood listening to,
Right. Kim was ratchet. She wasn't worried about the spiritual stuff
Israel,
yet.
Don't you know they got a concert downtown next week? You know what I'm saying? But that's one thing.
You have those roots.
When you go, I want to go. When you go, I'm going.
Yeah, I want to go. I need to go because I want to be able to start connecting these dots. Of everything.
That's the name of our show.
Right. Connecting the dots,
and that's why we're here. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do.
Kim,
I want to plug up my phone so that our live people don't die.
You good? One of the things that's been standing out as well is the fires that's going on in the rainforest right now. And just from my own opinion, after me analyzing the whole situation, I think that this is not natural. I think this is done by man, corporations. It reminds me of Standing Rock. If you see the tribes out in the Amazon, crying, you see the fires.
They're about to start having them evacuate.
How convenient.
But guess what's happening today?
What's happening today?
As we speak, it's raining.
Wow.
It's raining today. It's raining tomorrow. It's raining every single day. If you put in the Amazon rainforest on your phone, you'll see nothing but rain. So the thing is that my grandfather, Minister Farrakhan, always says, "Oh, y'all mad? Look at the weather. Look at the weather."
Yep. Just like in Galveston.
The universe knows how to maneuver when there's injustice. Let me tell you about Shakisha, right? We was going to protest Saraland. But then a hurricane happened, and they were so upset. Guess where the hurricane hit? Just only in Saraland. It bounced over Mobile. It just went and hit just in Saraland, and that was last year.
And you know what else happened last year? Oh, about 500 farmers in Georgia lost their cotton crops.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
look at that.
A part of that hurricane, Hurricane Michael, I think it was, that destroyed a lot of cotton crops.
See, we have to. We also, we fight.
At the end of the day,
we fight, but there's a spiritual fight that's going on. That's going. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember one time, North Carolina, right after the killings of at the church, right? They was going to invite my grandfather to speak for Justice Sorrells. Then at the last minute, a lot of people denied him to speak because of the fact they were scared and whatever. And then that
Hey, I feel you. I be making that same face. It makes me so mad.
When people say like that, you know, scared.
What are you scared
and when
of?
they say that, when they say he's violent, and like I'm just like,
he never harmed
Kim,
if he really wanted to do that, I mean, it would have been done. Like, why would you get to be what is he 80 something
83
right now?
I think. Right?
Why would you in your 80s like? Oh my God!
And Kim,
I don't
that was
get
going to be one of my questions as well. Is Yonasda, when you hear this, especially about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, when you hear people say, "Oh, he's anti-Semitic, he's this, he's that," you've been around him multiple times.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say to counter that argument and that propaganda, really? When people always try to say
he
that.
always quotes to Jesus. You know, quotes Jesus.
He
says, "Do not follow the synagogue of Satan."
Simple.
And the thing is that it is what it is. Like that's not even his words. That's the book that they're using to colonize and take over our lands and and who we are. You know what I'm saying? So he's like putting the words right back at you.
So when I hear people like sis, that's always on CNN, say something
Angela
about say stuff about
but
him.
She like Joe Biden.
I'm like,
not Joe Biden, Joe Biden.
But I'm like, when I hear her say something like, "Yo, I wouldn't meet with him either." And all that stuff, I'm just like, sis, you're a Christian, right? And everything I've ever heard Minister Louis Farrakhan preach was biblical.
Yep.
And I mean, like, to the point, it was biblical. So how you could say anything bad about that, I never understood that.
He's such a beautiful man.
I would love
growing up with him. You know, like I said, I went to predominantly white high school.
Me too.
You know, I had white friends, and he met my white friends. There was no like
he didn't hurt anybody.
No, he had. As a matter of fact,
like, what are we talking about?
He has friends that are Jewish that taught him how to play the violin, and you know what I'm saying, that just when he went to Israel, they gave him so much praise when he did his World Friendship Tour. No, you would never hear that. And they're saying, finally, you're speaking the truth of what we're fighting against. And so the thing is that when you meet him, you automatically know and feel what love feels like.
Wow.
And
peaceful.
Oh my God. I mean, and he's funny. You know, so I'm always like laughing with him, like exactly like how we're talking. Like I'm like that with him. Like I'm like, Pops, let me tell you what happened. You know what I'm saying? And he just like, he loves the Godfather series, the movies. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
So like, he's a regular person.
Oh yeah,
That's so beautiful.
Contrary to what people
loves
think.
Fantasia, the singer Fantasia.
You can never think this stuff.
Oh, you gotta sing.
You walk in the house, you just see Farrakhan chilling on the couch.
Yeah, we went exactly when we went over to the house and he wanted to watch the BET Awards and he's all like, "Oh, there goes my sister Fantasia," you know.
You sound just like him too.
That is amazing.
He loves. I mean, and also to get his album.
Yes.
Change the world. Let's change the world. You could get it on NOI.com, NOI.org.
Okay.
And it's $200, but it's a DVD of the movie that was going to come on Netflix.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So it's that as well as 7 albums. CDs. It has Rick Ross on there. It has Common on there.
Snoop is on it too, right?
Snoop is on there. Shaka Khan is on there.
Wow.
Stevie Wonder's on there. I believe Barbara Streisand is on there.
So it's working.
Tina Marie is on there. Like the album is amazing. It's like on a whole. Yeah. So get the album. Let's Change the World by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
He's amazing.
Look at that smile he puts on her face. That's crazy. Like I would love to meet him one day. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's dope.
That's amazing.
He lit.
I know. Hey, he lit too. That's gonna be the thing.
So what's next for you? What are you doing now?
Oh Lord Jesus.
So many things, huh?
Good Lord.
Everything.
Yeah. I'm just like right now. A television network has been following me since July. Y'all saw the cameras.
Saw that. Yeah.
Yes, y'all saw the cameras.
A couple of people from
Atlanta. A couple of us from Atlanta.
We probably can't say anything about that just yet until it drops.
Until it drops. So I'm a little nervous about it.
It'll be dope. I saw all the pictures that you posted. It'll be fine.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah. Really?
I'm nervous. I just want to make I just pray and hope that, that that the way they edit it,
yeah, that's a big thing.
It's going to evoke
but
change.
BET, don't get it twisted.
Hey, we gotta keep it quiet.
Look,
or MTV, or
VH1,
or
whoever, ABC,
Right.
C, D, E, F, G, whoever it is. If you misrepresent this sister right here, you will be shut down.
Yeah.
Well, by me anyway.
She got some riders. Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't misrepresent the movement. That's not going to be a good idea. But I'm sure they'll do a good job.
Yeah, I pray that they do it. It comes out October 17th, so probably in the next 2 weeks I'll begin to start really promoting what it is. But I am excited about it. I'm nervous and excited. I'm not really like a television person. Like especially it was nervous like. The cameras were all in my face all the time.
And I respect you for that because I told Kim, like when I saw you on stage and they had the cameras on you, I was telling Kim I cannot do that. It's just too much going on for me.
You saw I really wasn't speaking a lot.
You were not. I respected that about you because you were so humble. I love that. Really talking. Keep that spirit. I love that because just seeing all the cameras.
They might edit me all the way out. They be like, they ain't talking at all.
Hey, you still got your voice though.
She don't have no drama. Let's cut her out of
here. I've been eliminating myself from drama from it because I just feel that when you get to a certain point in your life, I'm 41. So when you get to a certain, I'm like. Like I mean,
you shut everything down.
And then I mean, I've been asked many times to be on many, my ex-husband is Capadonna from the Wu-Tang Clan, and at a point, they wanted me on a reality show, for him and I, and I declined that. I mean. I just feel like certain things, but this right here, I said yes for because I said, you know what, this is going to make a difference. This is going to
be blessed. You'll be blessed for that.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now you're a friend of the show.
Yeah.
So you haven't.
We're bringing all the tea to connecting the dots once again. We'll be bringing all the tea. Like, what happened on last night's episode? Let me tell you what really went on.
Hey, think about that. She really could stop by and give like a local review.
Yeah. The after.
Kim, she's on TV all the time. Quick story. I'm watching VH1 Family Hustle, and I see Kim talking to T.I.
I was with you.
I'm watching Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, we was there too.
I'm watching Love and Hip Hop. I see Kim every single week.
You in all the episodes.
She's on every reality show.
I mean, there's 50 people there.
What's next, Blackie?
You know how many people were there, right? There was about 100 people there, but they were zooming in the whole time.
The funny part, it was like, how long were we there? Like 3 hours?
Yeah, we were there for a long time.
I drove in from Miami, and it still was going on. I was like, hi, y'all. Like, okay, let's sit down and talk. Right. And then when they edited down, it was just mostly T.I. talking about the whole, like, what he was doing. And I'm like, man, we said some dope stuff.
There was some really dope stuff.
He was just all like, my son, and this is how, even
you
him.
Never known that.
But it just showed his green screen talking about this dope event. Like, and then the little clips of here. And I'm like,
y'all missed it. They missed it. And that's why I see why you're kind of nervous about that.
Right. I am, because we've
even,
done, even our panel
was there, from the exonerated side. Yusuf
Salam
Salam was there. I mean, there were a lot of people there, and they didn't even get half.
I even did an event with Yusuf Salam and even our panel. So I don't know. I just hope that the feeling that we were getting is shown just as beautiful and powerful.
Well,
I trust the editors in this situation.
I think so. I saw a lot of people that were working there with black, so I hope that they get it. You know what I mean? So that they can. I guess adapt it.
That whole panel, like, y'all ain't playing.
They were lit.
They'll be doing it to the wrong
that panel
people.
was lit.
Yeah, so you'll be fine. And
they just probably show the. No, let me stop. I was gonna the guy said, "Well, if I gotta kill a cop," or something,
they about to play that.
I was all like,
"Oh Lord." We were like, yeah. That's not for this meeting. That's next week.
Right.
We don't. And then
yeah.
So I mean, it'll be cool. And if it turns out bad, you can always stop by over here,
and we'll clear it up.
And we got you.
We got you.
Yeah.
They'll probably show me yelling at the cop.
Right.
That's the clip for every commercial.
Show you the worst part.
Because I ran out of a Cops and Clippers event, and I was all like,
"So there's the preview."
I said, "I ain't going back." I said, "No, this is above me now." And
that's gonna be on the preview.
I was like, "I ain't going back and forth with anyone that ever tell me what a shot." And I had the shirt on, and I was like, "Justice for Oscar K." And I was like, "Yeah, they probably show that."
You already know it. That's gonna be on the previews for the season. That's it.
I was like, "This above me now." I ain't kumbaya with the police today.
Right. She's a revolutionary, man. I love that.
I love it.
They
I
always
love
wanna
it.
show the angry black woman.
Of course.
But we got you though. Black media, we got you here.
Yeah,
we'll make sure that you're done right. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We had a great time. And before we leave, where can everybody find your work and how can everybody keep up with you?
Queen Yonasda. That's what it looks like.
See, you playing games with us.
See what I'm saying? I just learned how to say it right.
Yonasda.
Now, right.
But it's YONASDA. If you put that in a Google search, ignore the fake part. Yeah. But if you put that in a Google search, I come all the way up, and it's every platform. I'm the only Yonasda in the world. Support me. Send me some money on Cash App. I don't get paid for this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just whatever you can to support. Yeah, exactly. You know, whatever you could do to support. I'm your sister. I'm here to serve you. I love my people.
Yes, ma'am.
And Matakiasi, we're all related.
Yes, ma'am. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Y'all two are a match made in heaven anyway, so
we will be too. We are eating at Waffle House.
Hey, I'm trying to get right.
We're gonna roll up on you. We're gonna see us pop up in your mind if you ever go sit down to Waffle House.
I'll be thinking
we'll move out the way and take a seat and do a sit.
Exactly.
I can't be a coon.
You can't come here.
I can't be a coon. I got y'all.
So we're gonna catch up and we're gonna see you guys next. I'm having surgery at the end of this week, so
we're gonna keep you in prayer.
Yes, and so if I'm here next week, you'll know it went well.
You'll have on some shades.
You will be here.
I might have on some shades, so you'll know why. But we are so happy. I can't wait for you guys to see this episode, and make sure you follow Queen Yonasda.
She messed up.
Did I say it right?
Yonasda.
Yonasda.
Ha.
Okay,
Lonewolf.
Queen Yonasda.
Right.
Follow Connecting the Dots at CTD_ATL. Yeah. If you want to follow me, it's what am I?
Chocolate Girl
Wonder. Shade round like thunder. Hey, shout out to Capadonna. All right, y'all. We will see you next week.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.